Welcome to part 2 of lesson 18. First thing we need to do is put on our heading, name, number, date, first and last in cursive. Remember to put on the date that you're working on the notes. Our subject is math. My number is pi. Alright, so now we're going to be estimating, and we're going to be using our area model to find our product. But we're always going to be thinking, is the answer reasonable? We're going to look at that estimation to help figure out if the answer is reasonable. So first we're going to estimate. We're going to take our larger factors. So we have our factors are 49 and 9 here. The larger one is 49, so that's the one we're going to round. 49 is between 40 and 50. Our halfway mark is 45, and 49 is over here. It is very, very close to 50. So 50 times 9, placeholder moves it over a place, 9 times 5 is 45. So our estimate is 450. Now, my number went up to 50, so that means it's going to be a little higher than the actual product, but it should be really close. The estimate is 450. Okay, this is a complete sentence. Make sure you capitalize and you put your punctuation. Alright, now we're going to use our area model. So we have two squares we're going to need in this rectangle. Our multiplier is 9, and we're going to break apart into our expanded form, 49. So it's 40 plus 9. 9 times 40, we have a placeholder, moves over a place. 9 times 4 is 36. Then 9 times 9 is 81. So here we have our partial products. So I have 360. And then 81, I need to make sure that I line up from the ones. So my 1 goes in the ones. My 80 goes in the tens. 0 plus 1 is 1. 8 plus 6 is 14. I'm going to regroup above. 3 plus 1 is 4. Is 441 pretty close to 450? Yeah, it's only 9 away. So that means it is reasonable. It's close. I knew this would be a little higher, so it is reasonable. The product is 441, and it is reasonable because it is close to my estimate of 450. Alright, next problem. We're going to estimate, so we need to find our larger factor. Our larger factor is 745, so that's the one we're going to round. It's between 700 and 800. Halfway is 750. 745 is pretty close to that halfway mark, but it's still on this side, so it's closer to 700. 700 times 8, we have 1, 2 placeholders, moves it over 1, 2 places. 8 times 7 is 56. Ones, tens, hundreds, comma. Now 745 went down to become 700, so this is a low estimate, but it is our estimate. The estimate is 5,600. Now we're going to do our area model. So I have 1, 2, 3 digits, so I'm going to need 3 boxes. Don't make them too small. You got to be able to fit numbers in them. My multiplier is 8, and I'm going to break this apart in expanded form. So I have 700. I have 4 tens or 40, and 5 ones. 8 times 700, well, there's 2 placeholders, moves it over 2 places. 8 times 7 is 56. 1, 2, 3, comma. 8 times 40, I have 1 placeholder, moves it over 1 place. 8 times 4 is 32. And then 8 times 5 is 40. So I have my partial products. I'm going to line them up. I'm going to make sure I always line up from the ones. So under here, I'm going to put 0. Then 2 tens go in the tens, and 3 hundreds go in the hundreds. Here we line up from the ones, 0 ones, 4 tens in the tens. 0 plus 0 plus 0. 0 plus 2 plus 4 is 6. 6 plus 3 is 9. And then 5. 5,960, is that close to 5,600? It is close. I knew this would be higher because this was a low estimate. It is higher, but it is close, so the answer is reasonable. The product is 5,960, and it is reasonable because it is close to my estimate of 5,600. Notice our wording is similar throughout these lessons because we're looking at that reasonableness compared to our estimate. It's just with multiplication, we say it's a product. All right, our last problem that we're going to estimate and then solve. So here we have to find which is a bigger factor. 5,109 is a bigger factor, so we're going to round that. So it's between 5,000 and 6,000. Halfway between is 5,500. 5,109 is going to be closer to 5,000. So 5,000 times 4. We have 1, 2, 3 placeholders. Going to move 1, 2, 3 places. And then 4 times 5 is 20. So ones, tens, hundreds, comma. We get 20,000 as our estimate. Now it went down from 5,109 to 5,000, so it's going to be a low estimate. That means my actual product will be close, but should be higher than 20,000. The estimate is 20,000. All right, so now last one to do area model. Make your rectangle. Our multiplier is 4, and then I'm going to break this apart into expanded form. So I have 5,000 plus 100 plus, I have 0 tenths. I could put 0 here and end up with a 0 to add. But since there are no tens, my zero product property says when you multiply by 4, you're going to end up with 0. And then the identity property of addition, if you add 0, it stays the same. That's a lot of work to end up doing nothing. So I'm not going to worry about the 0, but you could. It doesn't hurt anything to include that 0 if it helps you out. Sorry, and then 9 ones, because that's a 9. 4 times 5,000, I have 1, 2, 3 placeholders, and 4 times 5 is 20. 4 times 100, I have 1, 2 placeholders. 4 times 1 is 4. And then 4 times 9 is 36. Now I need to line these up so I can add my partial products. And we want to line up from the ones. 0 ones, 0 tens, 4 hundreds in the hundreds place. Line up from the ones. 6 ones, 3 tenths. So I have 0 plus 0 plus 6, 0 plus 0 plus 3, 0 plus 4, 0, 2. 1, 2, 3, comma. Remember, comma on the paper, not on the computer. Is 20,436 pretty close to 20,000? Yes, it is. I knew it would be higher. This is a low estimate. It is higher, but it is still pretty close, so it is reasonable. The product is 20,436. And it is reasonable because it is close to the estimate of 20,000. All right, now we have finished doing our notes about multiplying with an area model. It is now time for you to do some practice. Thank you for joining me.